What's going on, everybody? This is Low IQ Media here, and today I have a Hamilton book unboxing. As you can see right here, you can see by the thumbnail, I might be upside down. I am right side up, I do believe. And I have, I believe, 13 titles in here of varying degrees of different movies, older movies. There's probably some newer movies, but before we get started here, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, slash that bell for notifications, and we will get started here. Seemed like there was something else I was want to tell you guys, but I don't think there is right now. Other than I do have the 4K Steelbook giveaway going on for Ghostbusters Parts 1 and 2 on Steelbook, sealed copy. It's a beautiful set. I have one myself, and I'm giving away a second that I have, and I will be glad to give it to you, but you got to make sure you subscribe to the channel before you're entered in for the winning, and whenever my channel hits 100 subscribers, I will give away that Steelbook. All right, here we're gonna open this up here. I'm gonna kind of move my mic around here so we can. I love Hamilton books boxing. They give you they kind of make a boxing so it's almost ship proof, so it don't get destroyed in the mail. So they do this. It almost looks like I don't know what you call that, I don't know what it is. It's like a tombstone almost, like a weird tombstone with almost like an axe. It looks like an axe handle. Looks like an axe. That's what it looks like. An axe handle here. And they make it where they give you a tab so you can rip it open. And you can rip it all the way open. And what's cool about these is the tab completely, it rips completely around. And the way they box these is they put half of your order on one side and half of the other on the other. And as you can see right here, and I'm going to show you the other half because the other half, the titles are revealed. So we'll go through these first, and then I'll pull the next half out like this. So you got two halves, and I will show you guys what's in the first half here. See, you get, and the boxes are, the way they're shaped like that, it makes them stronger, I believe. It's just a physics thing. Let's see what we got here. I can't remember what all I ordered, to be perfectly honest with you guys. So we'll see what I've got here. There's stack number 1 without being revealed. Okay, I'm just going to, I will look at these a little bit while we're going along, because some of these are things I have not seen. That's what I go for when I'm trying to find movies, stuff I have not seen. That's what I want to look, and older movies I have not seen especially. This is Stranger at My Door. This is, there you go. This is a Blu-ray. This is a total Blu-ray haul too. Stranger at My Door. Here's the back cover. Let's see what we got going on here. I don't think I'm going to read all the synopsis here. This is a this is 1.66 to 1 aspect ratio. It was come out in 1956. This is color. Or excuse me, this is black and white. Excuse me. 85 minutes, 166 aspect ratio. 166 to 1, I'm sorry. You understand if you're in the know. McDonald Carey, Patricia Medina, Skip Hominer, and Stephen Wooten, Louise Jean Hevitt, Howard Knott. Screenplay by Barry Shipman. Produced by Sidney Picker. Directed by William Whitney. Okay, the little caption on top here says, the faith of a fighting parson, the fury of the killer's kiss. He shielded an outlaw to save his soul, while his wife fought to love her heart for a killer. While his wife fought the love in her heart for a killer. Excuse me. When I read like with this thing, sometimes I kind of screw it up. I apologize, but I'm blind. I can see the screen fine. I can see everything on screen is fine, but and moving on here. Try not to spend too much time because I got several here. The next one is this one looked pretty cool when I seen it. This is called the Atomic City. The Atomic City is 1952, black and white, 85 minutes, 16 by 9, 137 to 1 aspect ratio. Now it says 16 to 9, but 137 to 1 is basically full frame. That's not, it's slightly larger than 133 to 1, obviously, but it's not 16 by 9. I don't know what this 16, it says 16 by 9, and then 137, it's kind of a contradictive statement. It's not. Okay, nuclear physicist Frank Addison, Gene Barry, The War of the World. He's in The World of Wars, and his wife are living every parent's worst nightmare. Their son, Tommy Lee Aker, TV's The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin, is being kidnapped. The kidnapper's ransom demands the secrets behind the H-bomb. The desperate scramble to rescue Tommy unfolds in a rapid pace in an atomic age city. From the streets of Los Angeles to cliff dwelling of Santa Fe. The real-life locations provide the vivid backdrops for his taut and suspenseful thriller. Director is Jerry Hopper, Pony Express. Gene Barry, Linda Clark, Michael Moore, Nancy Gates, Lee Aker. Written by Sidney Beam, it looks like. This looks fun. This looks like fun. I'm really interested. These are all really awful, oddball fucking. I apologize. Some oddball movies there. Next one is Copacabana. This is this is Groucho Marx. I'm not positive. I can't remember if I've seen this or not, but this is basically the first movie he made without the rest of the Marx Brothers. This directed by Alfred E. Green. Did I show you guys the back? There you go. There you guys go. Bam, the back. 47, black and white, 92 minutes, 137 to 1 aspect ratio. Let's see who all's in it here. It's Groucho Marx, obviously. Carmen Miranda, Andy Russell, Steve Cochran, Gloria Jean, Sam Cosgrove. And let's see who. Words and music by Sam Cosgrove. I guess he was the musical production guy. 47. Yeah, Groucho Marx's first film without his brothers was the wild musical comedy about two big-bit theatrical agent who gets his top and only client 2 singing jobs at the same nightclub. Hoping for a double commission, Carmen Miranda plays her familiar Latin role and doubles as blonde French chanteuse who wears a veil. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have to probably be checking that out in the next couple of days. It looks like fun. The next movie here is called Blackout. I told you I got a bunch of oddballs. Well, I didn't tell you that, but I've got a bunch of oddballs in here. Copacabana, not so much. I just haven't seen that one. And it's cool to own it on Blu-ray now, so. This is a Code Red release here. Let's see here. This was, here we go. It's 178 to 1 aspect. 89 minutes. This came out in, let's see here. I hate, sometimes these aggravating things don't have the year they come out on. I don't know why. I'm not seeing it here. Okay, this is the tagline on here. Psychopaths on the loose in a city without lights. No one is safe. That's all I'm gonna say. It's about a blackout that happens in Manhattan, and craziness pursues. But the cast is Jim Mitchum, Robert Carradine, Brenda J. Montgomery, June Allison, John Pierre Aumont, Ray Millard. There's Blackout for you. That looks like a lot of fun as well. The next movie here is Cava, Cava, and I cannot remember much about this, but here's the cover. I'll try to get closer there so you can see how it's spelled. Comment Cava. I'm at Cava or comment Cava. I don't know how you. It's a Godard movie, Jean-Luc Godard. I have not seen this one. Let's see, written by Jean-Luc Godard and Anne-Marie Meville. Directed by legendary Jean-Luc Godard. Combining video and film, Comment Cava is fascinating dialect on the dissemination and processing of information both by literary and visual. Two workers of a communist newspaper strike out to make a film video about the newspaper and printing plant. One of the workers, Odette, has strange ideas about the content and form on how the film should be made. Comment Cava is formally brilliant work about the transmission of ideas by the major media. Jean-Luc Godard co-wrote the screenplay. This looks fun. I didn't read any of the technical details for you, did I? This come out in '76. This is a late Godard. Come out in 1970. Well, it says 76, and this says 78 up here on the top, so I don't know. It's color, 78 minutes. I don't see the aspect on here any place, so this is an olive film release. Pretty cool. I like my olive film movies. They put out a good product. I liked it. This last one in the first bunch is called The Weapon. There's your cover. There's your back. And this one is another olive film. Let's see here. Okay, it's 1957, black and white, 78 minutes, 1.78 aspect ratio. Okay, this has Steve Cochran, Lisbeth Scott. It's Lisbeth Scott. It's not Elizabeth. It's Lisbeth. Lisbeth without an E on it. Lisbeth Scott, Herbert Marshall, Nicole Maury. Screenplay by Fred Feinberger. Original story by Haley Chester. The movie was directed by Val Guest. Pretty cool. When a young boy accidentally shoots a playmate with a pistol found in a rubble of bombed out buildings, it runs away from home and wanders the streets of post-war England. Ballistic analysis connects the weapon to the unsolved murder of a military officer 10 years earlier. A gruff American captain, Mark Andrews, attempts to track down the missing gun. I'm not reading everything here because you get the gist of it, and I hope you go out and check out this. This sounds really cool as well. Godard, the whole communism thing, I'm not into communism, but I'm always interested in learning about subject matters that I don't really care much about. You can't really argue against a political point of view that you don't know anything about. You can't really pose much of an argument if you don't know much about it. So anytime I can learn about something I don't like, that's the educated way to go about it. I'm not the most educated person in the world, but I try to be. I try to read history. But we're moving on to the second half. That's just the product slipped inside there. When you get these sorted out here before we get going. Probably seeing some of these when I'm flipping them over before I see them. There's stack number 3. All right, let's see where we're going. First off here, we got a John Wayne movie. This is 'Neath the Arizona Skies with George Hayes. (1934), black and white, 53 minutes, 137 to 1 aspect. This is another olive. And okay, with guns blazing, horses galloping, and desperados doing what desperados do best. 'Neath the Arizona Skies, starring John Wayne, is quintessential odor, employing the best of Western genre tropes. Cool. Best of the Western genre tropes. Okay. Chris Monroe, the kindly guardian. Okay, well the cast is obviously John Wayne, Shirley Jane Rickert, Jack Rockwell, Yakima Canutt, Weston Edwards, Buffalo Bill Jr. It's weird John Wayne's got top billing, but I say John Wayne back in the day when this movie was made probably didn't have top billing, because 34 was he might have. I had to look back, but that was kind of back in his B movie days when he was just kind of I call them people do that. I call them grinders. I call directors grinders, and I call the people making some of these movies grinder actors. And he was kind of grinding it those days. That's where he got such a reputation. He just threw himself into everything and just did hundreds of B movies. I don't know. I think he made before he got famous. Finally was in Stagecoach with John Ford, because that's his first major movie is Stagecoach. The John Ford Stagecoach, and that was probably, I'd have to look at the date. That might have been around this time. I might be wrong. He may have been he may have had the starring roles in the B movies. I apologize about that, but I have a feeling that he wasn't necessarily the starring role in this movie, but he may have the starring role. I might be wrong, but he made it around this time. I think Stagecoach, I thought Stagecoach came out in the early 40s. I'm probably dead wrong. I can look at it over here, but I don't feel like getting up and, well, it's not a laziness thing. We're in the middle of a video here, so let's head on. I'm sorry, I got off track. Next one up here is The President's Lady. There's your back. This is a beautiful clear case, and who is this? Twilight Time release. Really awesome. Okay, this was 1953, black and white, 98 minutes. They said this was, believe it or not, this was a limited edition 3,000 run, but it evidently didn't sell all of them. This is 133 to 1 aspect ratio. If you guys kind of get weirded out by 133 to 1, I know some other people that don't care much for full frame. I'm like everybody. I prefer everything full frame, to be 16 by 9, or the widescreen aspect ratio 178 to 1, and the wider 256 to whatever, the different the widescreen aspect ratios. Yeah, I prefer them, but I prefer letterbox over full frame all day long. But the thing is some of the most beautiful movies have been made in the early days, and that's what they did. It generally, some movies, I do say sometimes that movies are made, they're probably 16 millimeter. Some movies may have been full frame 35 millimeter, but a lot of times they were 16 millimeter, and then in the photographic process, they actually blew it up to a 35 millimeter print for 35 millimeter projectors in theaters. But they were some shot on 16 and then blown up. But I guess some theaters probably had 16 millimeter projectors, like the lower ends and stuff like that, and you could get films were put on 16. But when they're shot to be, they're intended to be a full frame movie. When it's shot in that aspect ratio, I have no problem with it. between 133, I like the 137 because it's slightly wider. It's not much, but it's slightly just a little bit wider, and I like it a little bit better because it's just a little bit bigger. I just like it better. But sorry that I get off. I just wanted to get on that tangent because people talk down about that aspect ratio, and I tend to like it. I did the review on the bullfighters and the lady, and that movie has some of the most beautiful cinematography. Even it being in black and white, it's the most beautifully shot movie. One of the most beautifully shot movies I've ever seen in my life, and it's just and it's full frame. You know, it's 133-1 aspect. Shot in the 50s too. It was shot in the early 50s when it was definitely low budget because they were shooting widescreen color in that time. They've been shooting color. I don't know. I guess they could shoot color in the late 30s. Like Gone with the Wind stuff was color, originally. Well, I don't know if it was Gone with the Wind was originally shot in color, but let's move on here. I digress. I apologize about it here. I went too far. Spoken too much. Irving Stone's novel, The President's Lady, hit the screen as a fanciful but historically true profile enduring love shared by Indian fighter, Tennessee lawyer, and future U.S. President Andrew Jackson and the unhappily married Rachel Donaldson, respectively played by the well-matched Charlton Heston and Susan Hayward. Jackson's political rise and is shaded by the scandal grinned upon the foes regarding Rachel's divorce. Henry Levin journey. Okay, pretty interesting sounding movie, I have to say. To me, it is. It sounds interesting. I'm sorry it's not action packed. It's probably a love story, but I'm not a big love story guy. But it's historical stuff. I love historical movies. And the next movie here is called Crash. Yes, it's Crash Out. The letters blended together, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not what it says. Yeah, it is. Crash Out. Here's your back. This video is going to go on forever if I keep on mumbling along. Most of you probably won't make it to this point anyway, so you won't know what's even on here. This is 1955, black and white, 89 minutes, anamorphic widescreen. It doesn't say what the aspect is. 55, Crash Out 6, ruthless convicts break out of prison and fanatically try to avoid the extensive manhunt. Once the coast is clear, the gang sets out on a long and dangerous journey by foot, train car to retrieve bank loot after barely swimming. After barely surviving 2 deadly incidents, the men take refuge in a farmhouse as the action reaches a fever pitch. Pretty cool. I love prison break movies. I love prison movies and well, not necessarily just prison movies. I like prison break movies, or The Man from Alcatraz is a good movie. It's not a prison break movie, but stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So that sounds really cool to me. That Humphrey Bogart movie I was telling you guys about a while back. It's San Quentin. That's a good movie. Okay, the next one's called The Kid from Cleveland. This is Rusty Tamblyn. That's what kind of caught my eye more than anything. You guys may not recognize him here, but Rusty Tamblyn is Dr. Jacoby from Twin Peaks. You guys remember the weird Dr. Jacoby who wore the different colored glasses and had the wild hair? Rusty Tamblyn also appeared in a lot of like biker movies and psychedelic movies during the 60s, like a lot of the B movies, the Grindhouse movies, and the movies that went to the drive-in movies, excuse me, Grindhouse drive-ins, stuff like that. But he was in a lot of stuff like that. And he was like a child star before that. I don't know a lot of his stuff, but this is why I picked this up. Because it looks pretty interesting. This was 1949, black and white, 89 minutes, 137-1. Russ Tamblyn, West Side Story, stars alongside George Brent. I guess he's in West Side Story. I always forget about that. And Lynn Barry was the Cleveland Indians baseball team in the first feature film. The heartwarming The Kid from Cleveland, Johnny Barrows, a young man heading toward a life of juvenile delinquency as the life home spirals out of control, sneaks into the 1948 World Series and seeks friendship by playing sympathetic orphan. He finds stability in mentorship in sportscaster Mike Jacobson and the Cleveland Indians themselves, who try to set Johnny on the right path. The family story seems interesting. It sounds fun. Yeah, it's definitely everything in this stack. It's definitely going to be watchers. It's just really amazing group of stuff I picked up here. Some of the stuff might just bore the heck out of you guys, but this just wonderful stuff. That's why I love Hamilton books. I can go through and just pick out all this old stuff, and it's fairly cheap, especially from some of these. Here's another olive film. The last one was an olive film. The one before in Crash Out was an olive film. So these are all olives. So my olive collection is getting pretty big in Blu-ray. What I like about the Dollar Tree too, I'm seeing a lot of Dollar Tree now. I'm seeing a lot of DVD stuff from Olive, but a lot of times the stuff on DVD I'm seeing from Olive, I'm not seeing here or seeing anywhere else. So it's kind of interesting. So I have been picking up some Olive at Dollar Tree. Okay, this is Greed in the Sun, excuse me. There's your back. Okay, this is 64, black and white, 125 minutes, anamorphic widescreen, 235:1 aspect ratio. It says in French with English subtitles. Huh. Rocco Jean-Paul Belmondo and his female accomplice Angela Anne-Marie Coffinet hijack a truck from a trucking company in the Saharan desert. They had the trucking company Castellano hires Rocco's friend Hervé and a newly employed German Hans to go after him after bringing him back from the valuable goods. After the two run into the trouble of Castellano, send the second truck driven by Mitch Bernard Blair, the great Henry, blah blah blah, directed this action pack. Okay, this is Sicilian Clan directed this action pack. The problem is there's so much callbacks to the actors on here that that's why I mess up all the time, because the sentences are so broken up that it's hard to follow. Like you try to skip on but you end up skipping other words. It's aggravating. That's why I hate reading the back of these, because they pay more tribute to the freaking actors than they do the story on there. I wish they just have a separate thing for the actors. And okay, this is Jean-Paul Belmondo, excuse me, Lino Ventura, Bernard Belair, Gert Frobe. It's a French movie. It seems pretty interesting. We've got a couple more left here. The next one is a William Castle double feature. These aren't necessarily insanely great William Castles, but this is Homicidal and Mr. Sardonicus. I can pronounce words. I was always a good speller in school, but won some spelling bees in my youth, and I'm all right at reading, but not the backs of these. I don't know. They suck. I hate reading these. Okay, on Homicidal here we got 185:1 aspect ratio, 2 hours 58 minutes. This came out in 1961. Excuse me, Mr. Sardonicus. Looks like it's a 178:1 anamorphic widescreen aspect ratio, 1961 as well. Let's see here. Let's try to get the actors for you guys. Okay, Homicidal is Glenn Corbett, Patricia Breslin, Eugene Leontovich, Ellen Bench, James Westerfield. Mr. Sardonicus has probably the same people. No. Oscar Homolaka, Ronald Lewis, Audrey Dalton, Guy Roth as Sardonicus. These look like a couple of thrillers or horror movies. They look like fun. We've got one more left for you here as we're slowly wrapping things up. Or quickly wrapping things up. I guess it's slowly because it's taking a while. But last but not least, here's another John Wayne movie. This is called Westward Ho. I don't know how well that shows up there, Westward Ho, though. Does. There's your back. This is also an olive film. It's hard to probably see that because it's yellow, but there's olive. I'm going to see if this is numbered. They are numbered, but I don't know. Olive film 584. I guess they're all numbered, so. I'm not a completionist, and really, because that's why when you see that's why I don't go hard and heavy on like different stuff. You know, I know I got a lot of Kino Lorber and stuff, but still don't go hard and heavy. Kino Lorber supposedly has 4,000 movies. They have many movies they've released on, I don't know if Blu-ray, but at least movies they've released all together than I have in my whole collection. So I have a little over 4,000 in my collection, and they've got that many just released. So I mean, trying to buy everything. I mean, there's some people out there that buy a whole lot, but trying to buy everything's maddening. It's just, to me, it would drive me crazy trying to be a completionist, especially with Criterion Collection and stuff, trying to buy every catalog title, and then if you miss one and it goes out of print, you have to pay like $300 for it, and it just drives me freaking mad if you can't get it. So I don't even get there. I just buy the movies I want, because there's a lot of Criterion as well as Kino and everything I don't really care for. As far as cataloging, if I had the money, I would buy it just to have it. You know, if I had a warehouse space and I had enough money, I would buy that stuff, even if I never plan on watching it. I'm not saying these movies are bad. It's just some things, they're period pieces and stuff. I don't have, Victorian time period piece movies that I have no interest in. Some of them are good. Barry Lyndon's a good movie, but I mean, it's not my thing. Okay, it says the first film released by Republic Pictures stars John Wayne as two-fisted pistol-packing cowboy who vows to avenge the deaths of his parents at the hands of cattle rustlers. A legend was born in America. Yep. Okay, this was 1935, black and white, 61 minutes, 1:37:1 aspect ratio. Westward Ho. John Wayne, obviously. The reason why I say I don't believe these movies were originally starring John Wayne, because they got his name first, like, up here, but I don't think in the day they actually were like this. I might be completely wrong. These may be original artwork, but I just don't think he was doing this. This is really hard to read because this is yellow. Sheila Mainers. I know that I'm getting this wrong. Frank McGlynn Jr., Jack Curtis. Very difficult to read. But yeah, that wraps up the haul here. Let's see here. Let's do a little final shot here. You guys can see everything now. I need to count them because I think I did order 13, but I'm not sure if this is all 13 or not. There you go. They make a pretty good screen capture right there. Okay. You guys probably count them faster than me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Right on the money. So I don't have anything back ordered. That's good. Well, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Please leave a comment if you guys want to, if you want to know anything about these movies, any more information, information about Hamilton Books. I'll leave Hamilton Books links in the description. That's something I always forget to do. And also follow some of my friends. Their links are in the description as well. And that's about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. And I am out of here. Talk to you guys later.